Review code provided by ElfGames for ladiesgamers.com, where you can find this and other handheld news and reviews. Little Briar Rose is an adventure game where you must break the curse of the forest to save the sleeping princess Aurora. Its story is obviously set in that of the Sleeping Beauty tale, yet the adventure you go on as a courageous prince is its own journey. As the prince, you explore the forest, finding new items that may aid you later in your adventure. The first place you come across is a gnome village with a serious architectural dispute. This may or may not be where I lost a few princes in a row. If that happens, the next brave bachelor will show and take your place from the same point you were last. Aside from the adventure mechanic of using a few items on different things, you also must talk to the characters to complete an area's problem. While you might know the answer to an obstacle, your prince needs the context to solve it. After finishing a section, you will be given their wish and use it on the large mushroom. Then, the wish must navigate a rotating maze puzzle, which will then unlock another area for you to explore and help the inhabitants of. Aside from these puzzles, there are a few necessary mini-games, such as fishing. You will need to go back and forth throughout the forest to complete each new wish. The game's art style is a gorgeous mimicry of stained glass art, thankfully without light refraction. In the introduction there is some narration, other than that there is no voice acting. The writing has light humour to it and matches the adventure tale you are on, which is important since you have to do a reasonable bit of talking. The music befits the enchanted forest, though I had to turn it down a smidge. While puzzles are necessary to progress, the game is very generous with hints. You can solve swap puzzles to get a hint about what to do in an area, unless you happen to solve them in an area with nothing new to do, like I tended to. The maze puzzles also have the option to show you the line path it would need to pass through. As I've said, there isn't really a failure state even if you do lose a prince. It has in-game achievements, so getting things perfect, and sometimes wrong, can net you these. The controls for the puzzles and minigames are a bit of a hassle on the Switch. I had to use the D-pad buttons instead of the joystick to finish them. In handheld mode you can use touch controls, which are much better. Going through the game took me almost 2 hours, though it could take less if you're better at gnome architecture than me. The puzzle and adventure aspect are easy, so if you came for a challenge, it isn't here. Little Briar Rose is a gorgeous little game, and while the setting is that of the Sleeping Beauty, it has its own simple adventure to tell. It reminds me of the kind of games I'd play as a young girl, although this is much less tedious than those. For some reason the Switch port is more costly than the PC or mobile versions, so unless you really want on your Switch, you could grab those versions instead. I give Little Briar Rose a 7 out of 10. Then, the wish must...